As most of you know, if you've watched any other videos on this channel or if you know me in real life, I am a huge fan of superheroes. And there are a lot of cliches that happen in superhero fiction. If you watch enough of it, hell, if you even watch like one or two pieces of superhero fiction, it's an incredibly cliched genre. There's a certain it's a lot like the rom-com. There are certain scenes that you expect to happen in every movie, and if they don't happen, you get a little bit disappointed. Now, what those cliches are, unlike the rom-com, have changed quite a bit over the years. Rom-coms, at least as far as I'm aware, and again, I haven't watched too many of them, but as far as I'm aware, have pretty much not changed too much since it happened one night. Like, you still have the couple that doesn't like each other, and then, oh, maybe they're gonna like each other, but then they break up, but then they get back together. Oh, it's so great. Superhero movies have changed an awful lot because there are just so many of them now, and also because superhero films are reliant on special effects, and special effects have changed quite a bit. So, whereas before, uh, whereas now, I should say, probably first, you have movies like, well, any of the Marvel movies where characters are doing all these spectacular, crazy things with all these lasers and explosions and throwing planets at people and all this stuff and not even blinking an eye. Back in the day, in like the 70s and before, even in the 80s a little bit, but definitely in the 70s, in the 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s, all the way back there, a lot of the appeal of a superhero show or movie was about seeing someone do something that was impossible. There was something about that was just incredible. There was just seeing Batman swing from one building to the next, or Spider-Man swinging from one building to the next, was amazing. It was incredible. Even in the early 2000s, in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, they make a big deal about the fact that you're watching Spider-Man swing from building to building and how impossible that is. They make a big deal of that. But then you watch something like Captain America Winter Soldier, great movie, but that's not there anymore. It's taken for granted in the movie. The only thing that's like an impressive thing is that the Winter Soldier can catch Captain America's shield. That's shown as a very impressive thing. But the rest of the time, pardon me for yawning, the rest of the time, the characters are just sort of bouncing all over the place, punching each other, shooting bullets, explosions, car chases, and the film never stops for a second to be like, wasn't that impressive? And I think that the reason why is because in the realm of CGI, there's much less to be impressed about. Like, back in the day, even in a James Bond movie, a big part of the appeal of those movies was to see what kind of crazy stunt the stunt team would find out how to do this time, because they did all those stunts for real back in the day. Nowadays there's a lot of CGI in place, but back in the day, in the 70s and 80s and 90s and all those old Bond movies, they used to do those stunts for real. And that's, you get the DVDs, and when I was a kid, we had all the movies on DVD, and I would watch the special features specifically to see how the hell they did those stunts. They have in Man with the Golden Gun, when Bond's car goes off that ramp and literally spins over all the way and lands on wheels again on the other side, or in Tomorrow Never Dies, when he flies that motorcycle over spinning helicopter blades. And because of that, there's one cliche that I always loved in old superhero movies that you just don't see anymore. Every once in a while it might pop up, but you don't see it nearly as much as it used to. And this is something that me and my brother always refer to as the glass is 6 inches thick. And what that's in reference to is there's the Incredible Hulk TV show from the 70s. I'm sure you've seen pictures of it around, back when they didn't have the CGI to make a big Hulk monster like they do now. Instead, it was just Bill Bixby playing little old Dr. David Banner in this show, not Bruce Banner. And then when he turned into the Incredible Hulk was played by a bodybuilder named Lou Ferrigno, painted green, with a green wig and weird contacts on. And that it was treated more like a Wolfman kind of thing, where the Hulk was only slightly bigger than Dr. Banner. And in the pilot episode of that TV show, which, if you're going to check out any episode of the show, Check out the pilot episode. It's definitely the best. Excuse me, I don't know why I'm yawning. The pilot episode is definitely the best episode of the show. It's tragic. It's heartfelt. It's a great TV movie. But he doesn't know. He's just been affected by the machine that turned him into the Hulk, and he's in his laboratory. They put him inside of a special containment unit. Uh, and Dr. David Banner's like, well, let's try and trigger a transformation. Let's turn me into the Hulk right now and see what happens. And his scientist friend, this lady that's helping him and is also his will they won't they love interest in the movie, she says, but David, it's so powerful. What if it breaks out? And Dr. David Banner is listing all of the reasons why there's no way he could ever get out. And one of the things, and for some reason, this is the line that's stuck in my brain and stuck in Alex's brain. My brother's name is Alex. For all this time, he says, the glass is 6 inches thick. Like, even the windows are so strong. The glass is 6 inches thick. The windows are so strong, nothing could happen. And then he ends up turning into the Hulk later on. And the first thing the Hulk does, the very first thing, I bet you can't guess. I bet you can't guess what it is. The very first thing that the Hulk does is he just fucking puts his hand through that glass window. And it shatters. All 6 inches of that glass breaks all like it was fucking paper. And it just shatters all over the floor. And that's the very first thing the Hulk, before the Hulk breaks open the walls, before he does anything, he puts his fucking fist through that glass. And oh my God, when my brother and I were kids, we cheered. We freaked out. We were so excited about that. And, man, I do kind of wish that they still did stuff like that. I understand the plots are a lot more complex these days. We've moved past the realm of origin stories and we're now adapting some more complex, more modern stories from the comic books. And I am completely fine with all of that. I'm not saying that comic book movies were better in the 70s. Some of them were, some of them weren't. But I am very excited with all the advancements that have been made in comic book movie storytelling over the years. But every once in a while, man, there's just that thing where it's like, Superman couldn't possibly get here in time. The glass is 6 inches thick. I guess you have to choose, Spider-Man. Are you going to save Mary Jane or this truckload of kids? You know, that moment when a character, either a villain or a friend or even the hero themselves, says, there's no way that you can fill in the blank, and then the superhero just goes and he fucking does it. That's pretty great. I love that. And that's, especially characters like the Incredible Hulk and characters like Superman are built on that. The idea that you tell them you can't do this and then they fucking do it. That is what those characters are built on. And because we kind of moved away from that very simple storytelling concept of the glass is 6 inches thick, smash, you were saying, you know, literally within the first couple pages of Superman's first appearance, Superman kicks a door down, like anybody could, really. I mean, if they were an action person, I couldn't kick down a door. But, if Chuck Norris kicks down doors, Bruce Willis kicks down doors, Superman kicks down a door. And he picks it. He's holding a guy by the scruff of his neck, and he runs him up these stairs to the doorway of this guy he's trying to get to. And the guy says, "Now this door is made of solid steel. Try breaking this down. The glass is 6 inches thick. Try breaking it down." And Superman goes right up to it, and it just falls. It just breaks down. It turns to the butler there, the guy who pulled up the stairs, and said, "It was your idea," and walks in. Classic. Fucking classic. So yeah, I I don't really have a point. It's just something that's always kind of in the back of my mind, is like the glass is 6 inches thick cliche. And Yeah, I guess my question would be, do you guys have any particular superhero cliches that really stick out in your mind, and that you have like maybe a unique name for, or even if you don't have a name for it, you can come up with a name for it, or just write a description of it in a comment down below, or maybe you have an example of a particular "the glass is 6 inches thick" moment that you are a fan of, or maybe you have identified some of the newer cliches in in the newer superhero movies that you think are really awesome. It's really easy to pick out the cliches that annoy you, but in superhero fiction there are quite a lot of cliches that are pretty freaking cool. And yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling kind of good today. I've gotten a lot of dishes done, and I just wanted to be a little bit more positive today. So go ahead and check out the 1970s Incredible Hulk TV pilot, and look out for when Bill Bixby says, "The glass is 6 inches thick," and just wait for that moment when things go quiet for a second, and then roar, smash. Ah, classic. Classic. See you later. Bye, guys.